The morning atmosphere in the military barracks always began with the same rhythm: the sound of whistles, unison steps, and the smell of freshly cooked rice from the huge kitchen steaming in its steam. In the midst of the bustle, a figure familiar to millions of fans around the world appeared to be carrying a metal tray and smiling slightly at his colleagues. He is Cha Eun-woo, an actor and idol who is now serving his military service with full discipline and sincerity. It has been more than 2 months since Cha Eun-woo officially entered the military on July 28, 2025. The public initially wondered how the figure of a famous star like him adapts to the harsh life of the military world. But lately, the news circulating from inside the barracks has shown a different side of him, not as a celebrity accustomed to the camera spotlight, but as a simple figure who finds comfort in an unexpected place: the kitchen of a military barracks. In an internal report shared by the military in early October, Eun-woo was said to help out in the kitchen whenever he had free time. He not only participated in preparing food ingredients, but also often offered to help the cooking process. Not a few of his fellow soldiers said that Eun-woo's presence in the kitchen actually brought a warm atmosphere in the middle of a tiring training routine. He came to the kitchen not because anyone told him to, said one fellow soldier who did not want to be named. Eun-woo really enjoys cooking. Sometimes, he says, cooking is how I calm down after training. For many, the kitchen in the barracks may be just a place to eat. But for Eun-woo, it became a kind of mental retreat, a place where he could express himself outside of the world of entertainment and rigorous military training. He finds calm in the smell of spices, pieces of vegetables, and the sound of a frying pan rubbing against a metal spatula. When asked in an internal interview about the reason he is so often in the kitchen, Eun-woo, with his trademark smile, answered simply, "I am not forced by anyone. No one told me to go to the kitchen. I just like to cook." Even before joining the military, cooking was a habit that made me happy. The answer elicited admiration and sympathy from many parties. In the midst of the harsh shadows of military life, the presence of a story like this feels refreshing, showing the human side of an idol who has always been known for his good looks and perfect star image. Eun-woo doesn't try to stand out or seek attention in the barracks. Quite the contrary, he chose a simple way to contribute, to help prepare food for his colleagues. Some reports even mention that during holidays or weekends, Eun-woo often makes special menus for them, from warm soups to home-style fried rice. He never complained. If there is free time, he goes straight to the kitchen, another soldier said in the same report. Sometimes he just helps cut vegetables, sometimes also cook directly, and the result is delicious cooking, really. He, a humble demeanor and ability to adjust quickly, earned Eun-woo respect. Many initially doubted whether an artist as popular as he could merge with military life, but now they actually see him as a figure who is able to lower his ego and find new meaning in simple routines. He didn't bring his celebrity status here. In the barracks, he was just like us, eating together, training together, working together, added a senior officer. But the difference is the spirit. He always tries to give positive energy. For Eun-woo herself, this experience is not just a state obligation. He sees it as an opportunity to grow and get to know himself better. In the simple kitchen of the barracks, with the smell of broth and the sound of boiling water, he found a different form of happiness from the glitter of the stage. Cha Eun-woo's love of cooking is not something that suddenly appears when he enters the military. Long before putting on the green uniform and living a life full of discipline, Eun-woo had been accustomed to being in the kitchen since his teenage years. He often mentions that the kitchen is one of his favorite places in the house, a place where he can heal the mind after a long day. In previous interviews, even before his enlistment, Eun-woo had said that cooking was one of his ways of calming down from the pressures of the entertainment world. It is not uncommon for him to share small moments while cooking on television shows or video content, showing a side that is rarely seen by the public. "I'm not a professional chef," he said in a variety show interview a few years ago with a smile. "But I like the cooking process. From preparing ingredients, slicing vegetables, to tasting the results. It feels like therapy to me." The custom, it turns out, continues to be inherent, even now in a completely different environment, military barracks. If he used to cook for his family or other ASTRO members, now he does it for his fellow soldiers. The difference is that the kitchen in the barracks is certainly far from glamorous. But for Eun-woo, it's precisely that simplicity that makes the experience feel worthwhile. According to internal military reports, Eun-woo began to show interest in the kitchen from the early weeks of basic training. Initially, he only helped distribute food to the soldiers. But over time, he became interested in helping the cooking process, especially when he saw how the kitchen team worked with full precision in the midst of limited time. "He watches every step carefully," said one of the kitchen staff members on duty at the barracks where Eun-woo lives. "At first we thought he just wanted to help for a while. But it turns out after practice he always goes back to the kitchen and says, 'What can I do for you today?'" His polite attitude and high curiosity made him quickly accepted by the kitchen team. He is not averse to washing pots, cleaning tables, or cutting cooking ingredients. There is no impression of a big star there. Just a young soldier who enjoys what he does. "I don't want to just stay in my room after training. If I go to the kitchen, I can feel more alive," Eun-woo said in an internal interview quoted by military media. "For others it may be a normal job, but for me, it's a way to fill the day with things I like." Some of his military colleagues mentioned that Eun-woo has extraordinary precision in cooking. He pays attention to taste, proportions, and even the way food is presented. Although the tools and materials in the barracks are very limited, he still tries to bring delicious flavors with his own creativity. Sometimes he says, "We don't have a lot of ingredients, but we can make something delicious from what we have." "Then he really did," said a young soldier who often served with him in the kitchen. There is one moment that is quite eye-catching. One evening, after a grueling physical workout, Eun-woo makes a simple soup from the remaining ingredients of dinner: chunks of tofu, a few vegetables, and a base broth. "I gave it to a friend who was tired." "It's hot," said one of them, not only because the soup was delicious, but because that little attention made us feel appreciated. Stories like this later spread internally in the military environment. Although there are no official publications, soldiers who have served with Eun-woo often share their experiences with pride. Many were amazed that despite his status as a top celebrity, Eun-woo still showed genuine humility and empathy. Interestingly, Eun-woo's love of cooking apparently also has emotional roots. In one of his old interviews, he once said that his mother was the one who inspired him to learn to cook. Since childhood, Eun-woo often helps his mother in the kitchen, from washing rice, chopping onions, to tasting food before serving. "My mother always said, 'Good food is not only about taste but also the intention of the person who made it,'" he recalled in the interview. "Maybe that's why I grew up with the belief that cooking is a form of affection." Now, that confidence he carries into his military life. In his humble barracks, he channeled that affection through food, something that might seem small, but meant a lot to those around him. His colleagues even joked that Eun-woo might open a restaurant after being discharged from the military. "If he opens a cafe or restaurant later, I will be the first customer," one of the soldiers said with a laugh. But Eun-woo just responded with a smile and said, "I just want to keep cooking for the people I care about." In an atmosphere full of discipline and assertiveness like the military, the hobby of cooking becomes a kind of oasis for Eun-woo. He does not see the activity as just a pastime, but as a way to maintain self-balance. Through simple activities such as chopping vegetables or stirring gravy, he found peace amid the rigors of barracks life.